and now I'm in a tunnel, and this is the tunnely part, which is tunnely. Ciao, I'm Mario, a Swiss car guy on YouTube, and welcome to another video of me driving around in my 2008 Lexus LS600H. And actually, this might be the last video of me driving around in my Lexus LS600H for quite a while. And no, I have not sold the car because I still love it very much, but I have had a little bit of a snag in a way that I may not be able to drive a car for a foreseeable future. In fact, I was caught speeding, and actually I was speeding quite a lot. I was doing 138 kph in what was a 100 kph motorway zone. It was in the middle of the night and the roads were empty because, well, it was during lockdown, but still the cops were out there, and yeah, you know, I got what I deserve, I guess, right? However, now you might think, well, 38 over on a motorway in Switzerland, what does that give you? Well, in Switzerland, you get quite a lot for that. We do not have points on our licenses or stuff like that. So basically every action you do has an immediate repercussion, and that's not just some points on the license, but usually it's your license getting suspended. And in my case, my license is gonna get suspended for 3 months, which of course is a lot, but then again, I have been lucky because for speeding the way I was speeding, which is like serious speeding, the law prescribes a minimum suspension time of 3 months. So they can give you from 3 up to 6 months, and I got 3, so I got the minimum, so yay. But that's of course not all. With the suspension comes also some fees. The fees, I think, for the suspension alone are 360 Swiss francs, which is about $360 at the current exchange rate. But there's also going to be a fine. Oh yes, there's going to be a fine. And the fine is going to be obviously higher than the fees I just mentioned, but I have not received the fine yet, so I cannot tell you how high it is. I will update you with another video once I receive the final amount I have to pay. But it's going to be a lot of money. And that's not all. Despite the suspension of my driver's license, despite the high fine that I'm gonna get, there is another thing. I am now a criminal. You heard it right. I am a criminal. Because my speeding offense is going to get an entry in my criminal records. Yes, not the driving record, which I think it will be in there as well, but this will create an entry in my criminal record. So now I'm officially a criminal, which makes it a bit harder to get, you know, a lease on a new apartment. Even a mobile phone contract might be an issue. And it might also hinder your job applications because, well, nobody really wants to hire criminals. I don't think it will affect me that much, but it's still actually quite jarring to see that a speeding offense, even though this is a major speeding offense, and I'm not trying to downplay it because speeding is the most dangerous thing there is in the world. Yeah, that makes you a criminal. But I mean, there must be advantages as well to being a criminal. And I mean, I expect every day now that somebody comes to my door and, you know, initiates me into the underworld, into the Cosa Nostra, because hey, I'm officially a member now, huh? But on a serious note, I think it happened like in early May. It's also something that kind of, you know, was a bit of a blow to me. It demotivated me because after all, I do a car-related YouTube channel, and knowing that, well, I wouldn't be able to drive cars for months, and also knowing that I set a bad example by, getting caught speeding, it didn't really motivate me to do any sort of video, because who am I to tell you what I think, when I'm not even intelligent enough to drive the speed limit. But I think I'm over that now. I just received a notice of when my driver's license will get suspended, and it will be from the middle of December to the middle of March. And I don't really want to be without a car in winter. So I'm very likely going to basically send in my driver's license voluntarily at the beginning of July. So I have July, August and September where I don't have a car, but then in October I should be able to drive again. So I'd rather have no car in the summer than no car in the winter. So I will voluntarily anticipate the whole thing. Also, I'm not going to dispute the charges, because I'm pretty sure they were right, because they measured it. They actually stopped me right there. Well, first they sort of chased me down and then they stopped me. That was also another story, because they led me onto basically onto a rest stop where they had their little van parked. And then, like, the two officers, they were like, yeah, I hope you got time. And I went like, yeah, it's 10 at night, I'm not going anywhere. And then they were, we usually work in the office and we are very, very rarely out and about, so we are not that familiar with the new system that was deployed a month ago, so this will take time. And I was thinking to myself, well, couldn't you just stay in the office instead of going out? But different story. So basically they had me enter their police van with one officer sitting basically opposed to me and filling in his forms on the computer and being very frustrated, because he kept asking me, but if I push this, shouldn't then that come up? And then he showed me the screen. Do you see it doesn't come up? And I was like, dude, how am I supposed to know? And then he'd ask his colleague, hey Chris, do you know how this is done? And then he would come out, and all this in the back of a van without social distancing, which was also kind of uncomfortable, but I guess I got what was coming to me. But anyway, an hour later they were finally done, and there was nothing to argue about. They were probably right. They have expensive measuring equipment, and I wasn't really looking at how fast I was going. So yeah, no point in disputing that. And also I got basically the minimum sentence I could get with 3 months of suspension. So I'm just gonna eat it. Of course, as soon as I mentioned to people that I was gonna get my license suspended, they would come out of the woodwork saying, oh Mario, that's what you get for always driving these sports cars. No, it happened in this car, in my big barge Lexus, and not in my Nissan GTR. So yeah, it's actually a funny thing that one of the police officers, he remarked to me, oh, 10 years ago you were driving a Lexus as well. And I went like, what? Yeah, that's when you had this accident. Oh yeah, right, because it's actually in the same place that I totaled my first Lexus. So guess I'm not that lucky with Lexuses, because that time I got 2 months of suspension on my driver's license, and now I'm at 3. But at least that time the minimum sentence would have been 1 month, and they got me 2, and this time I got the minimum sentence, even though it's higher. So yeah. Anyway, what do we learn from this? I should say 3 things, because all good things come in threes, but I only have 2 things. So first, do not speed. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Just put in the cruise control. If you have automatic cruise control like this car has, just set it to the speed limit and drive. Don't worry about it anymore. And second, and probably most important, do not speed in Switzerland. Because as you might have guessed, the traffic laws are quite severe here. So not only do you get suspensions very easily, but also the fines. The fines are really high, and if you do a major offense like the one that I did, they are actually depending on your income. So the more money you make, the more you pay as a fine. So it could be that somebody who makes millions a year will have tens or maybe even hundreds of thousands in fines, and like normal people like me will be in maybe the thousands. But still, it's a lot. Do not speed in Switzerland. Still, come to Switzerland. It's a beautiful country. Everything is expensive if you have seen my videos, but it's generally a nice place to be, even though the punishments for traffic violations are insane. But yeah. But anyway, again, I've rambled on for way too long. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, tell me what are your experiences with law enforcement in regarding to traffic laws, and does your place where you're from maybe have even crazier, even harder laws regarding to speeding? Comment down below, please let me know. And hey, if you want to see my future criminal activities, please consider subscribing to the channel. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.